Hello, and welcome to episode 24 of the Frivolous and Frugal podcast. We're two sisters who just happen to be side by side this week. And I can't even remember the start after I said that. So we are two sisters who share our fondness for knitting, those things that we create, and the knitting community that we love. And we do it all with a little twist of both the frivolous and the frugal. I'm Dawn. I am fourth in the birth order, although I always wanted to be an only child.
The things we learn in front of the camera.
And I'm the frivolous one.
Obviously, if you only wanted to be an only child. Oh, well, that will never be, just so you know. You will always be the fourth. And hello, I am Penny. I am the oldest of the 8 siblings, and I am the frugal one. And I always wanted to be an only child.
Then you could have been frivolous.
Oh,
Ooh.
I like the way you think.
All right.
But since I'm not, and we never will be, we'd like to welcome you with a hearty welcome to our returning viewers. We're so grateful that you come and join us week after week, and your participation in our threads is always such a treat. We hope that today is no exception, that you walk away with a couple of nuggets. Little lessons, tidbits, whatever. And for those of you who are watching for the first time, we're grateful. Thank you so much for making time, because we know that there are many competing opportunities for your viewing. So thanks so much. So without further ado, can you believe it? It's episode 24. And I'm going to say to you, take it away, Dawn.
So what is on your neck?
Well, mine,
around your neck,
around my neck. This is probably one of my favorite shawls. It's the 3 Color Cashmere Shawl, patterns by Joji Locatelli, and I knit it in the Leading Men Fibers base called Showstopper. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, this was back in the day when I did not make it an effort to put all my tidbits into Ravelry, so I can't remember the colorway names, but I will try to find those on their website, because they're pretty consistent with those, and I'll include them. It's knit on a size 6. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I gave it though $4 signs on the frugalometer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is the first shawl I ever knit.
I didn't realize that.
And I'm telling you, for a new knitter, what a fantastic pattern.
It is.
Stripes, a few eyelets, a simple lace pattern.
Mm-hmm.
I just recommend this. And it's a long crescent.
Yes.
And you could knit that in such a variation of colors that you could have a couple of them. And then, of course, that leads right to her pattern, the 3 Color Cashmere Cowl.
Right.
And
somebody just posted a picture on our Ravelry thread. Who did that 3 Color Cashmere Shawl?
Patty?
Yeah,
Patty?
Math Patty. So check out our FinishFixorFrogitKAL, and you'll see Miss Patty's. It'll probably be on page 10 or 11, somewhere toward the end. Beautiful colors, beautiful muted colors.
What a that's a pattern that stands the test of time.
It does. Yeah. I would agree.
I'd have to wash mine to show it. So maybe that'll be a good goal before Christmas. Okay.
We talked about having just a wash it week. We should have done that this summer, so that we can lay them all out in the summer and they can be in the sunlight and the fresh air.
That'd be great.
But until you do that, what's around your neck?
This is the Willow Cowl, which I think quite a few of us has made over the years. Now, you made the first ones that got me excited about this. So, it's just the little ringlets. I did not make mine the 6 full repeats. And I can't remember why, if I ran out of yarn, but this is Manos del Uruguay. And I think it was one of those, what do they call them, a one-off?
Yes.
So I think I bought this at, I'm not going to say, I don't know. But yeah, I like it. And, turned edge, I don't know. I just like this cowl. I think it's a great standby cowl with gradients, or you could do it in solids. You could color block it. Just nice. No, mine's not as long as yours was, so mine wouldn't fit a giraffe. Mine may fit a llama.
Oh,
yeah. What do you think?
Llama.
Yes. My COVID mask.
It could be your COVID mask.
I need to get out more.
Yeah, you do, probably, and with people. Just getting out won't fix that. But I do have to give credit where credit's due. I was introduced to that pattern by one of the fellow knitters here at it was Yarn Craven. And so the ladies there started knitting them.
Okay.
And it was Miss Jackie. So
okay, well, thank you, Miss Jackie, because then you did it, and then I took it to Magpies, and a bunch of people at Magpies did it. So, again, I think when we find a pattern that we like, we just share it, and then other people see that too, and on goes the story. So,
I totally agree.
Right.
But I am much more curious about what's on your needles, because you brought bags.
Oh, what's on my needles?
Bags of what's on your needles.
Well, this is just a very simple.
Wait a minute. I messed up. Should we do what's off first?
Well, okay, let's go. What's off our needles? Nothing. I actually have a finished object this week, and it only happened on the drive over here. So this is the Anker's hat. And again, the lessons we've been learning about don't fight the pattern with the yarn. I did it again. So this is, I started the iris hat and wasn't happy with it. So I just switched over to this. And this is a free pattern on Ravelry, the Ankers, right? And it's by PetiteKnit, yeah. Okay, so Petite. And she's got that whole series of that Ankers. But the yarn is Hedgehog Fiber sock, and then a Hedgehog Fiber mohair. And I'm going to try to remember which bag that was in.
Because the lesson she learned was profound. And we shared it with Miss Brianna during Knitting with the Annies last night. And she would not have made the same discovery that Dawn did when she asked her the question.
I don't know. When I see this, I see pink. Lots of pink. Look at the base color.
It's a speckle, isn't it?
It is a white with pink speckles, but look at the mohair. The mohair dominated. So what I'd like to do, I think I still have some white mohair at home. I'd like to do this because I have plenty of yarn left.
Yeah.
And do the white mohair just for the comparison.
Do you mind if I put this up so the viewers can see?
Yeah.
Look at the pretty speckles in that.
And this is a kit I bought from Stephen B's over in the Twin Cities. So I think it'll block yet. I haven't blocked it, but you really can't see the beauty of the rib pattern. The mohair fights that. And then I think a honkin' pom-pom. Why wouldn't you? About half the size of the hat.
Yes. And it has to be furry fuzzy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Don't you think?
I think I have a white one with pink tinges.
Imagine that.
It was one of my Czechoslovakia. All right, so Anker's hat, Petite Knits. That is the only thing off my needles.
It is?
Yeah,
well, I have a couple of things. So let me share those because what's on your needles is very exciting today. So as you know, I'm still doing the 45 hats, 45 designers. And as you also know, I have not posted a single picture. So we've talked about that over and over, and I just have to do it. So I apologize to those to whom I said it would be on Instagram. I should have brought out Monique or Mo. We could have put them on them. This is the Christmas bonus hat.
Look at that.
And it has just a fun textured pattern. It is by Susan Ashcroft, free on Ravelry. I knitted in some repurposed Cascade 220, and secret, it is for one of my daughter-in-laws whose birthday is Christmas Day. So quick knit, very easy. It is number 24 on the 45 hats, 45 designers. Well, yeah, she's a pom-pom girl, don't you think?
I think so.
So yeah, I think I will put a pom-pom. I need to get an order together because I don't want it to be a yarn pom-pom. I want it to be a furry pom-pom.
Oh, I have a couple dozen to choose from.
Yeah, I know you do. Czechoslovakian, it would make it a very unique hat. And just an update, last week I showed everyone this hat that I really liked. It's called the Perry Beanie, and it is by, I'm going to look, Cheryl Oberle, or no, it isn't. It is by Bonnie Mae Blue and Ambria Bishop. I knit this, loved it, but the crown decreases were huge. So because it's knit and bulky, it kind of looked like a knob on the top of your head. So I frogged it, took it down, decreased the number of rows above the folded brim, like it much better. We all tried it on last night. Our husbands even tried it on. And it initially, Dawn, I was telling you I didn't think that I would like it for a male, but by golly, our guys sported them, didn't it? So I'm going to keep it for the intended original recipient. And then finally, still working on 6 Sweet Sweaters, just finished sweater number 2. And I got to tell you, you're going to love it. This is the Little Hanton, and it's by Cheryl Oberly. If you'll remember last week, I was struggling with the seaming on the edge because my eye was drawn to the seam because of the contrast pattern and striping of the yarn. But I went ahead and did it, added the shawl collar, and I do see those ends hanging down at the bottom. I don't weave my ends in until after I block it. This is a 6-month size, so it is ready for its recipient once I block it and tuck in those ends.
And that is the second of the 6.
The second.
Boy, that could go wrong. I'm just going to say the second of your sweater sets.
6 sweet sweater sets. Love the alliteration.
Yes, very good. I just could inappropriately say something there.
Okay, well, you don't even have to do that without trying. It just kind of comes out.
So you're over halfway on your 45 hats, 45 designers.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm going to do a tag too for hats, don't you think?
I think you should do a tag.
I'm going to do 4 or 5 hats by 4 or 5 designers in 4 or 5 yarns.
In 4 or 5 months.
Or years. That may have to be kind of questionable.
That's not true. You almost always have a hat on your needles.
I know, but they don't progress as fast as yours.
Not
that they need to, but I was watching Magpie's Cottage podcast last week, and Joanne did an extra one just to show the Chinese waitress cast-on.
I am going to try that.
Yeah, it's interesting because you do it with a crochet hook, and it gives you this really nice edge.
Isn't that gorgeous?
So, of course, she had it in this yarn. This is a Baby Blossom Chunky. Yet another name that would be appropriate for me.
Or me.
I did a baby blanket in this and had an extra skein, so I thought I would try it. And I just used the Pearl Soho pattern for super simple, super easy baby hat or something. And so I just wanted to try that cast on, so I'm doing it. I don't do baby hats. To me, that's looking very long. And also, I didn't read the instructions on the pattern or on the yarn. It says, pull the yarn so that when it gets to this area, that the green comes first. So you'll have to hold the child. Whoever gets this will have to be held upside down for the picture. Yeah.
Would anyone know? No, they wouldn't know. I think it's just fine.
No, and a couple coworkers have had baby girls, and their first children were also baby girls. So see, this could be either one.
Absolutely.
So if it's too big, it's for the older one. It's just right, it's for the baby. But and I think I have several different skeins, just one-offs, you know what I mean? Where I must have done a baby blanket, because these make really cute baby blankets, easy stockinette. But the pattern, the pattern in the yarn makes the blanket washable. Frugalometer, I'm going to have to call it like a 1 or 2.
I think so. Who is it by? Who's the home company?
Hayfield, which was new to me.
Me too.
Yeah. And I bought this one at Magpie Fibers, but I've also bought some at Silver Thimble in Green Bay. So I'm going to guess it's fairly available. And they came out with a whole series of patterns free to go with the yarn. So.
Oh, how nice.
Well, I say free. It was free with purchase of the yarn. So I don't know if it's like free on Ravelry.
Or if it was just one of those, what do you call them? Where it was just a one-time good deal. Yeah, you get the patterns.
So
again, promotion. That was the word I was looking for. Promotion, one-time promotion.
First sign of. Okay. So what's on, what are you working on? What's on your needle?
You know what? I am where you were last week. I only have one item on my needles. I finished my hats. Of course, you all know I started back to work this week.
Yes, you did.
Ooh, it really interferes with knitting time. Yeah. And I didn't have long periods of knitting time. I would have little 15 minutes where I'd pick it up and knit. I haven't been able to do that with this week, and I'm okay with that. This is my third of my 6 sweet sweater sets. I
See what I mean? It can go bad fast.
Yes. I remember something going bad a few weeks ago. Anyway, the name of this pattern is the Striped Garter Jacket. I think it looks really big when you look at it like this, but it is knitting both the front and the back simultaneously. What I think is brilliant about this pattern, it uses the eyelets for buttonholes.
Oh, that's very good.
And I just noticed a mistake, so I hope that's not where the button's going to be. But anyway, I think it is very cute. So it's being knit in Republic of Wool, the Supernova colorway. Again, I would say that there is a little bit of fighting going on between the yarn and the pattern, yet I think the eyelets break it up enough that you can still see it.
Definitely can see the eyelets. Yeah. And you know how many things that'll go with too.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that it will. Yeah. So that's the only thing I'm thinking of casting on a hat today when we're hanging out.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. So what about you? We have got to see.
I just happen to have, of course, the big shawls on the needle. So the new one that started this week was Festival of Stitches by Lisa Hannes.
Yes.
So there's the pattern. Yeah, beautiful. I've never, well, I shouldn't say I don't think I've knit many of her patterns. Well written. This was a knit along earlier this summer. Yeah, so it starts off with this triangle, and I have needles everywhere.
You do.
So
I'll hold it for you.
I've never done this. I shouldn't say second time I've done a really long garter tab to start with, but I've never done it in the opposing color.
Me either.
So this is all Ba yarn, La Jolla base. I think the white's called Pearl or La Perla. The black is Black Pearl, and then the red is chocolate covered cherries. Do not lick the yarn, Dawn. Okay. So clue 1 was supposed to be done in a week, and that is the triangle. And then you can see now clue 2 is started over by a penny. So let's tip it this way.
Okay.
Now this is going to come off the triangle and will eventually make it all rectangle. So you can see it's on the bias. And it is a pretty little lace section.
Can we get that up so you can see the richness of that color?
That color is amazing. I love red. Oh, so you guys, I did the citrus wash. Somebody commented on Ravelry that they used a red Ba yarn and it ran. And of course, like freaked me out.
Yes.
So I followed Pearl Soho's 8 steps to do a reset of the dye. And I followed it, you guys, as much as I complained about it, I think the whole thing didn't even take a half hour. I did not have a single color in any of the rinses. So I'm glad I did it. This yarn, it's the first time I think I've worked with La Jolla. Nice yarn, size 4. It's fairly dense. There's like 4 or 5 of us doing it as a knit along, and each color is as beautiful as the next. Some people, like I do, always do high contrast. Some people were a little mellower. Some did it like in all tones of blue, or so I like it. We're supposed to have it done in August, but I go back to work on Monday, so unless I have some horribly long Zoom meetings this week. Well, did I say horrible in meetings in the same sentence? It was meant to be that way.
That was not Freudian.
So, and then you'll see it as it grows. What's happening on the right side of the triangle is exactly what's happening on the left. So 1 week we work to the right, 1 week we work to the left. I like it. I like the yarn. I like the pattern. I like the designer. Win-win. So
and when you see her wearing it, you're going to say win-win for sure. It's beautiful. It is obviously beautiful.
So that's my new cast on. And then just an update on the other 2 big shawls that I'm working on. This is the Advent 2016 Advent. Am I right? There's my right side marker. So that's where I was last week, I think, at this marker. So my clues got done. And you know what? Can we go a little?
Absolutely.
This was a very simple cable pattern.
Oh, it doesn't.
It's okay. I'm hoping it blocks out nice. And then I've never done this stitch called the Bluebell stitch. That's half of my homework for this week. So these bead line hit halfway. So I have 3 more weeks of the class. And so far I've been able to keep up, again, going back to school, and I have to chuckle, look at all the stitch markers. So because this is where a pattern where you increase stitches and then decrease, I think it's nice to put the markers in so that if I'm off, I'm only off by 1 row. So yeah, I'm very happy with this. It's a class I'm taking at Silver Thimble in Green Bay. Tina's the teacher. And I'm telling you, the ladies in the class are amazing knitters too. The colors are different. Yeah, I don't know. I just thoroughly enjoy those ladies. Yeah, it's been fun. Now going back to school again, whether I can get to the class I'll do my best. But
Right.
Bridget Koch was the designer of this, and it is a paid for pattern on Ravelry. The yarn I'm using is Legato Silk. I would call it, what did I call it, 3?
I think, yeah, you gave it a 3.
Yeah. Of course, I'm a sucker for silk. And then last but not least, my update
and cashmere and yak and camel. Don't stop with just silk.
That's right. Oh yeah, I love all those. Yes, I see where you're going with this conversation. All right, my Melanie Berg update.
Oh my goodness.
Grand Bazaar. Now it's exactly like it was last week. I hit the halfway mark on this as well.
Look at you. You're a knitting machine.
Yeah. So there again, the stitch marker is where it was last week.
Look at that beautiful lace.
It is pretty, isn't it? It's going to block out beautiful. I am, I got gauge with the needle change. The pattern called for a 7. I got gauge with a 5. I am spot on for the yarn. So I literally, I need to move my lifeline today because I just finished that last number 12 repeat. And I am right at halfway in the yarn. So, and that's a dark currant, I think is the color. That is Queensland United. It is a cotton wool blend.
So if you look at the color, it is really a bluish gray, don't you think, Dawn?
Just a tad purple. I don't know.
Maybe
it depends
purple?
on the light.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll go with a lot of things, I think.
You are just a wonderful knitter.
Oh,
your shawls
I will pay
gorgeous.
you later.
Well, no, you don't have to because you left like a stack of yarn, which kind of defeats the purpose of knitting through my stash.
My stash looks better. Yours looks.
I know. Yeah,
and this is in. You can buy it as a separate pattern on Ravelry, but this is Melanie's. Melanie's book, like she's my best friend, right? She's got. This is her first shawls book. She has another one.
So, Miss Melanie, darling, should you ever watch our podcast, if you're ever in the States, would you let us know? And we will have you over to the house for a no-notice hospitality check.
Still a cup of coffee?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're welcome at either of our homes. Well,
that is
you
what's on my needles.
are very productive.
But again, I think there'll be those same 3 for the next couple of weeks. But they'll all finish about the same time, which will be...
And if you have not yet visited Dawn's projects page in Ravelry, you just need to see. She takes wonderful pictures. She has a wide variety of shawls, and I think you'll probably find 8 or 30 that you might want to knit. You
8
think?
or 30.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a jump.
We talked, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of what's on my needles.
So we were chatting before we started recording because we're together about what we've been learning. And I don't know about you, Dawn, but as I sit here and look, I am reminded of the almost endless opportunities for finding something that fits your aesthetic, your budget, your color palette. And I don't know many hobbies and or crafts and or arts where we have such a selection in this day and age.
Absolutely.
And I think I'm really grateful for that because I'll confess this. I think there's a little bit of frugal and frivolous in each of us.
No doubt. No doubt about it.
And I'm thankful for that. So that's something I just was sitting here thinking. I've learned that.
And I think probably what I've been learning too is along the same line, it is I appreciate diversity.
Yeah.
I can have 5 or 6 patterns on the needles, maybe more, but that's another confession. But each one is different for maybe the yarn, the degree of difficulty, maybe it's the recipient that you're thinking about. And the more all of us knit, the more, at least for me, the more confident I get and my ability to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned to read my knitting better. I should have learned that from day one, because I can remember the teacher just saying, learn to read your knitting.
Right.
And I didn't. I thought I was. But now, if I see something I don't like it, at least I have a couple of things or tricks that I can think of to alter it to make it work. Mm-hmm. And why do I keep going back to, if I don't like it now, I'm not going to like it 20 rows from now. Let's just get right away. Let's just deal with it and finish, fix, or frog, right?
Right. Absolutely.
And I'll make all of those decisions at one time or another, to finish something, to, it's just not working for me, or just to fix the problem or come up with an alternative solution. And the knitting community is brilliant.
Is that not the truth?
If we don't know it,
mind.
That's right. If we don't know it, somebody else has been there. Somebody else has learned. I can learn from what worked for them. I can learn from their mistakes. It is, I suppose as educators, we're always going to say it's all about learning.
Yeah, it is. At least for us, because we're really not product knitters. We're more technique or process knitters. Yeah. So for us, we do enjoy the whole process of learning as we're knitting.
Agreed.
So yeah, some good lessons for us.
And what a thrill again last night with Brianna. She's a fairly new knitter. She's now cast on 3 different projects, or she's got the yarn prepared for it. She's picking her own yarn, her own patterns. She found a great Joji Locatelli pattern. I think it was the Odyssey shawl.
Yes.
She picked out the yarn for it. She purchased it. I mean, wow, she's just blooming. And again, she's heading back to school. So I think all of our knitting's going to slow down a tad, but it's the ebb and flow.
And go ahead.
No, I mean, it's just the school year, the ebb and flow.
Absolutely.
Of what we're used to.
And she has become a knitting mentor. So you want to talk about someone who has not only grabbed this art and craft of knitting, she is teaching another woman and coaching her how to knit.
Absolutely. And how to fix her mistakes.
Oh, that's all they worked on last weekend was tinking.
Forced tinking. I just do it for fun. Yes.
Yes, you do.
A lot lately.
Which leads me to the FinishFixorFrogitKAL. Thank you, everyone, for all of your contributions. They have been wonderful. Just absolutely wonderful. The pictures are, again, motivating and inspiring. Wouldn't you agree? So keep it up.
Yes, absolutely. And it's just ongoing for us. So we'll just draw a random draw from that every couple of weeks. But we also had a draw last night because it was crazy.
One of our threads in YouTube was name our new mannequins. Okay, so for the record, it was total hysteria. Dawn and I were in the spare bedroom doing knitting with the aunties. Our husbands were in the living room, knowing something was going on. The laughter was out of control.
Oh my gosh, the tears again.
Tears were flowing. We were laughing so hard. And so we did finally select names for our matching full-figured mannequins. And
our brother Michael popped in and he helped too.
He did. He gave us his, he gave us his opinion, kind of coached us through the process because we got derailed several times by laughter. So without further ado, we are going to announce the names of our mannequins and the winner and recipient of our giveaway. She suggested, and you're going to know who you are right away, Miss Cindy R. Opal and Ruby.
To go with
Pearl.
Oh,
they're all gems. So in their brilliance, guess who's going to be the more expensive gems mannequin? Ruby. And I'm going to have Opal. So we will introduce them next week in the podcast. I'm sure they'll be sporting something. We hope.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because we can't put them up naked, right? So anyway, yes, we'll introduce them next week because we'll be back in our own respective homes and not together.
Yeah, so Cindy R., if you would get in touch with us and we will mail out your packet. And
we had another giveaway.
Wow, we hit 750 subscribers. Amazing how that is just slowly but surely.
I know.
Well beyond our expectations. So we had Nikki just randomly select from the YouTube comments this week too, right?
Actually, yes. And it was also simultaneously at the time we hit our second podiversary.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was fun for Nikki to do her random drawing. And I have to tell you, we just chuckled. Can I backtrack for just a bit? When we were talking about which names we were going to choose, our sister listed every set of names. Yes. She has her little spreadsheets going. And so thanks, Nikki, for all your work, because Absolutely. We realized we put you to the test this week. And she started back to school too. So we're kind of going to try to give her a break. So in our random draw, the winner was, and you know Miss yes. Beth, it's Beth Waller. So tell us a little bit about Miss Beth.
So I met Beth at Magpie Fibers in Sheboygan Falls. You guys need to look at her project pages. She is a brilliant, brilliant knitter. Very much similar aesthetics to I have. So we talk back and forth quite often. We don't get to see each other much during COVID, but also one of the most positive people I have ever met in my life. Always posting positive. Man, she is just an amazing friend, amazing knitter. So I can't wait to send you a gift package.
So, do you know who she is on Ravelry?
I think it's Beth. I'll ask for her permission if we can share her Ravelry ID. And if that's okay, we'll put it in the show notes. And our show notes are always available down below the toolbar here on YouTube, but also in our groups tab on Ravelry. So if you go to the groups tab, Frivolous and Frugal, and then you'll see a discussion board for each of our episodes. So yeah, gosh, amazing, amazing knitter. Can I say that one more time just to overemphasize?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Good mentor.
And that leads us to our next giveaway during episode 25. It will be for reaching our 750 subscriber mark. So in order to be entered into our drawing, you need to respond to the following question below in the comments section. And here is the question. I'm going to read it just so I get it right. If you were on an island and could only take one brand of yarn with you, what would you take?
That is torture.
I know.
One yarn.
Brand. Oh. I know. What kind of, so you have to think about versatility. You have to think about how it fits in your hand. There are just so many considerations.
Oh my gosh. It'll be fun to read people's responses because again, we'll be introduced to new dyers, possibly
yes.
new yarns, but also what people love, love, love to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be good.
We're excited about that. And as Dawn mentioned earlier, we will probably do our next Finish Fix or Frogit giveaway during episode 26. So please, if you haven't entered anything into that thread, do so. This week we had a couple of new people
yes.
who joined, and I'm grateful for that too, because we get to just meet someone else in the knitting community. So we really encourage you to do that and really appreciate your participation.
Absolutely.
All right, sis, can you think of anything else?
I think that might be it. You know, we're on all the typical social medias, so not very active on Instagram and Facebook, but and we try to respond to emails when we remember to check Gmail.
Yes, and so there were profuse numbers of apologies this week.
And next week we can give an update on our monthly Zoom.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so
we are recording this the morning of our August Zoom session. So we won't be able to update you on that until next month. But we do have our date for our September virtual knit along. It's going to be September 12th from 7 to 9 Central Standard Time. We'll mention that a couple more times. And if you are at the least bit interested, join us. It is 2 hours of saturated talk about knitting. That's all we talk about, which is very refreshing considering other dialogues that could take place.
Sure.
So please feel free to join us.
All right. Well,
I know.
I still want your cheeks. I wonder if I learned to contour, I could get those lines.
No. Well, I want your eyes. Mm-hmm. And maybe some of your stash. But having said that, We're hoping that your week will be a
Uh.
sweet twist of both the frivolous and the frugal, and we want the best for you and enjoy your participation. So have a great week, and we'll see you for episode 25. Bye-bye.
Bye.